and using concentrates as a means of bringing us back into harmony. Harmony means a synergistic interplay of energies, of nutrients, of all types of products. And that synergism is not attained by taking concentrates. Now, when we are dealing with water, we have to look at what water really is. Is water comprised of concentrates of alkaloids or alkalines to try to bring the body back in order? Well, no. Water is supposed to be neutral. It's supposed to contain very few nutrients. The only thing it really needs to have is the H2O molecular bond. When you put too much of the alkaline substance, as was put in by the Japanese when they created this alkalizing mechanism that used to be in the hospitals, it was a gigantic hospital thing that they used to try to bring people back into balance whose acid or pH, potential hydrogen, was off. So when you look at pH balance, the first thing you have to look at is the word potential hydrogen. If that's potential hydrogen, then what is the basis of hydrogen? What does hydrogen become? It becomes water. So the basis for balance is water. But if you take too much of the alkaline and try to alkalinize your body, it is no longer water. When you over-alkalinize water, it is no longer water. It becomes a solution. There's a difference between pure water and a solution with water. So what people are normally doing by alkalinizing their cells with these apparatus, this machine that they put on their tap, is actually changing the value or the actual quality and the condition of water and creating a solution that the body would take, like anybody would normally put together herbs and extract whatever materials are from in the leaves or from the bark, and that solution is what water becomes. Well, that's the same thing that happens when you alkalinize water. It becomes a solution. It's no longer water, it's a solution of water. So what we need is to understand what pure water would be in relationship to bringing the body back to potential hydrogen or to a balance of acid and alkaline. And the body will automatically do that if given the proper materials. Given enough water, which is supposed to take at least 12 ounces, and then divide that by your weight, and that's the amount of water that you need to be taking, at least a gallon or 2 or even 3, depending on how heavy you are, per day. You're supposed to be flushing your system. Your body would automatically come back into balance if you're taking enough water into your body. Now, if you look at the sodas that people have been drinking and the type of juices and so forth that they've been given, the athletes are given these other things to give them solutions of water again. You have to remember that when you drink these solutions, the body now calls for water to remove the solution. The only thing the body really needs is water. If the body sees something in there that's in the water, it has to go into a digestive process. So in order for it to get to the water, it has to sacrifice enzymes in order to digest the materials that are in the water, therefore sacrificing nutrients from the body in order to just have the water. But if you're just taking pure water, then the body itself begins to acclimate and use whatever's necessary in there. This is why it's so important for us to eat fresh, raw, organic fruits and vegetables, because the enzymes and the nutrients in there can be stored. And for instance, if you look at an apple, the apple has a synergistic combination of nutrients that you can't concentrate one in order to balance the body. Everything is a synergism. Whatever's in the apple, the body may store because it doesn't need right away. And if it needs it later on, it calls upon it. But if you're giving it like concentrates of vitamin C or concentrates of alkaline, the body's only going to take what it needs and then flush everything else. Like they take 500 to 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. The body doesn't need that much. An orange contains 0.16% or grams or milligrams of vitamin C. It's the same thing we overdo. We oversaturate. We use vitamins like a drug, and it essentially becomes a drug.
Wow, that's really, really interesting, and I'm so glad that you pointed that out, because it shows that there is a misconception that things such as alkaline water is beneficial when you are basically promoting just natural water for the nutrients of our bodies.
Exactly, because the body, again, is a gas-powered engine. The body is a gas-powered engine. What do I mean? Well, what is the primary gas that we use to stay alive? The primary gas we use to stay alive is oxygen.
Yes, oxygen.
What's the secondary gas that we use to stay alive? Hydrogen combined with oxygen, which makes what? Water. So the two primary things that we need, that we cannot live without, you can stop eating for 40 days, it's been proven, and still live. You can stop drinking water for at least 3 to 7 days and still live. But you stop breathing for 5 minutes.
That's it.
That shows you the priority that the body uses. The body is a gas-powered engine. Cells do not eat. That is a fallacy created by the Church of Medical Science, who essentially functions on belief. What they show as phagocytosis, which means the cells combining or wrapping itself around a specific material. Phagocytosis is essentially the cells encompassing materials to remove it from the body. But the cells do not eat. The cells simply partake in an environment of high oxygen and pure water and pure solutions that it creates within the plasma. The cells do not eat food. That is a fallacy. So when we get away from that, we begin to understand that everything you digest has to be converted into the proper gases necessary for the cells to live. Everything that you eat, you can weigh all the food that you eat right before you eat it. After you eat it and it becomes waste and fecal matter, you could weigh the same amount of fecal matter and it will weigh the same. It means that your body does not absorb anything of the food. What it does is it takes the enzymes and materials and then through the process of digestion and assimilation gets rid of that material. It flushes it out of the system. But the material that it takes, it converts into proper gases that it needs for the healthy functioning of the cells.
Absolutely. I mean, I am so glad that we began the program with this information, because it is so important that people realize that health has got to be the first priority. We have to be health conscious. And so this is very good information, and a lot of people in the chat room, they're commenting that these are things that they perhaps didn't know, and they're glad that you shared it, comments such as it makes perfect sense and those types of things. So I'm so glad that we started there. But what I also want to do, Dr. Valentine, is being that we're speaking about health and wellness, can you give the listeners information on how to contact you or actually visit the Health and Wellness Center so that they may want to purchase some of the products and things?
Well, what happens is we just now took down our site, wholewellnesslive.com, and we're working to get it back up within the next couple of weeks. But for those of you who wish to get information, we would be more than happy to talk directly with you. However, we don't normally give our number out over the line. What you could do is call the 800 number that is connected to the Whole Wellness Live Center, and that's 800-847-1291. Again, that's 1-800-847-1291. And when you leave your name and your information there, we will be more than happy to call you back and answer any questions about health or any of the other services that we offer here at the university and at Whole Wellness.
Great. Thank you so much for providing that information. And speaking of other services, I just want to let my listeners know that you also provide classes and things of that nature. And, they deal with many different subjects, such as metaphysical psychology, hygienic sciences, meta-nature, which is the language of the Kemites. And go ahead, Dr. Valentine.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, we're right now, we've started our metaphysical psychology class, which is the class that we recommend everybody takes first before they take any of the other subjects, because it prepares them for the mentality and the philosophy